Alright, everybody. So, as you already know, it's been a minute since I covered the NBA basketball playoff review. So, the last time I think I made a video on it was game one. Game one. So, I'm actually just going to have to review the series because most of these series are going to game five. So, the only second round matchup we have is the Golden State Warriors versus the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, as you know, the Pelicans swept the Trailblazers. Therefore, became the first team to make it to the second round. And Warriors beat the Spurs without Kawhi, and maybe without Pop too, in about 5 games, which is probably one more game than you probably would have expected it to go. But they didn't have Curry, the Warriors, as well. So there was that. So, all in all, that is going to be one of the best series because I never knew, how good the Pelicans would be. They were the 6th seed coming into the playoffs. They beat the 3rd seed Blazers. But, again, I had a feeling they would probably overcome the Blazers. Not the way they did. That's maybe Nikola Mirotic that surprised me. Or maybe it was Drew Holiday, who really surprised me, or even Rajon Rondo, even though he's playoff Rondo, so we all know. But the way Anthony Davis is leading the team as well has been pretty good leadership. So all in all, they wouldn't need really DeMarcus Cousins because Nikola Mirotic has replaced everything DeMarcus Cousins is, probably is for the best and the better. He will probably trade shots with Klay Thompson. Nikola will. And Drew Holiday, the way he's been playing, he could play against Steph Curry like legit. Anthony Davis probably has to go against Kevin Durant head to head. Last matchup was probably Draymond Green and Rajon Rondo. So that's the big four versus the big four. So it's very surprising how it all happened. But that second round matchup is going to be very close. But I'm sorry, I have to pick the Warriors in 6. Bro. It's just that simple. And all the other series, we have games going to game 5. The 76ers also, congratulations to them. They advanced to the second round of the playoffs. I ain't mad at y'all. I ain't mad at y'all. But they advanced to the second round, beat the Heat in 5 games. And they'll take on the winner of the Bucks-Celtics matchup. So they're going to have a game 5 tonight. Oh, sorry, they already had a game 5. So the Celtics are in the lead 3-2. And the Bucks would have to win 2 in a row to make it to the second round. I was rooting for the Bucks. I hope for the Bucks, but I have so many opportunities. I mean, the game 1 was incredible. Most of the games in the series have been very close. But some of the games in Boston, I think they've been blowing opportunities. They could probably score better like they are in Milwaukee. So Milwaukee, I would expect them to win game 6, but it's looking like maybe the Celtics might be willing to close it out, but they don't have that closer like Kyrie or even Isaiah Thomas, going back to him. I mean, they need like that closing person, so they'll probably have collective effort, the Celtics, but if they can't close out in game 6, the Bucks might just upset them. It has to be Giannis's and Chris Middleton's time. That guy, Chris Middleton, he plays like a baby Kevin Durant, like maybe like equivalent maybe even to Kevin Durant. Like he's really underrated. I mean, Chris Middleton might be the new Michael Jordan. That's how talented he is. So, very underrated dude. Next team I want to talk about is the Cavaliers. They've been struggling. The series is tied 2-2 for them. Most struggles LeBron has had in the first round in around 10 years. Maybe since the series he had against the Wizards a long time ago. So, yeah, that was that. And, that series with the Pacers, it could go either way. But LeBron is going to take over. I think he's going to beat the Pacers by himself. He doesn't need the help. But Jordan Clarkson, I think he could be the difference. And Jeff Green, they have to be really good. All the other guys can be all right. Kevin Love can even be all right. Tristan Thompson could just go out there and get like 5 rebounds, but has to make a difference. Those guys. So I picked the Cavs to win the series against the Pacers, but the Pacers they've been the team I wanted them to be. At least the team I wish the Hawks were. I wish the Hawks were in that position because the Hawks could have been in that position. They could have taken the series to 7 games, beat them at the 7th game. So we could have had home court advantage over them if we really wanted to. But we wanted the picks more. Next matchup I want to talk about. I got to give credit to Victor Oladipo, by the way, and Bogdanovich. They've been shooting up, and Lance Stevenson is a fool. I want to tell everybody, Lance Stevenson is a fool. The Bible says not to call people fools, but Lance Stevenson, boy, you are foolish. Stop it. Yeah, he's definitely one of the biggest. He's a Draymond Green. Those two, Draymond Green and Lance Stevenson, they were on the same team. They'd be the new bad boys. They'd be evil. I mean, evil incarnate. But besides that, skipping on. Yeah, Cavs in 6, maybe even 7, maybe. Rockets, they'll advance. They'll beat the Timberwolves, but I give it to man Jeff Teague. He's been playing out, but had a little bit of an injury there, so I mean the Timberwolves are getting a little bit weary, So I think the Rockets, they close out, beat them in 5 tonight. Raptors Wizards, I think the Wizards win tonight, and I say they win Game 6. Yeah, I'm like that. It would have been a 7-game series to me. Maybe if the Toronto Raptors do win, I pick the Wizards to win Game 6. And I said that's at least a 7-game series. You can even swap those 2 games. The Wizards win Game 5, Raptors win Game 6, and then we get a Game 7. Maybe the Raptors win Game 7. Maybe they lose. All I know is this: they are not winning the championship this year. They're not. I'm sorry, guys. Drake, no. I mean, and you look at it on paper, they're okay, but even then, they're the 4th best team on paper in the Eastern Conference. So we're also not even just talking about the West, we're talking about the Eastern Conference. So if you look at the 76ers are the best team on paper. Because Ursan Ilyasova, Ben Linelli, JJ Redick, those 3 shooters are veterans. And you match them with the juniors for the playoffs, like the very talented Joel Embiid and the very talented Ben Simmons. Those 2 alone, just those 2 alone, carry the team. So add with those great experienced shooters, I mean, this is a scary team. You got Sarge, you got even Covington banging threes. Like, this team is insane. But even looking through that, I just still pick the Cavs to win the East. I think they'll have a very competitive series against the 76ers. And it's not just LeBron James. I believe they're actually going to have some kind of chemistry they're going to develop in the second round. It's going to be insane. And it's mainly because they beat the Hawks, a few years back. Swept them with LeBron, JR, and Kevin Love. Just very few supporting characters. So I know what LeBron's capable of. I mean, you haven't even seen half of what he's capable of, man. Those series, bro, where he just swept us, man, those were heartbreaking. But I completely understood it because that's what he does every time. It wasn't just Atlanta. It's the whole Eastern Conference. And it's the whole NBA. The whole NBA is under his foot. And that's not a bad thing. It's actually a very good thing. He might be on steroids. I'm not going to lie. But if you were in LeBron's shoes and you had to carry the franchise like that, you might even take performance-enhancing drugs too. I'm just saying. No, that's not it. But going back to it, at the Warriors, the Rockets, and Thunder Jazz, surprisingly the Jazz are up 3-1. But this is one of the series I'm like, there has to be at least one 3-1 lead blown here. Just for the sake of tradition, And I think the Thunder might be that talented team that they could win 3 in a row. They can just go ahead and say, hey, we're just going to flip the switch. We're just going to play better defense. And we're just going to play better against the Jazz at home. And we're going to defend our own home court. So this is the series that's most likely to go at least 7 games. But it's not looking good too much good for the Thunder. With all the talent that they have, it's kind of wasted. They're playing style dynamic and the Jazz are just playing better. But I have to give this one, even though it looks bleak, to the Thunder. I give a 60% chance to the Thunder. 60% chance to the Thunder. Yeah, I said it. If they lose tonight, well, they lost the series. I lost my bet. But there is no bet, so I still go to the Thunder. They're going to come back from 3-1 lead. Yeah, I said it. All right. Basically, from there, I mean, it's just looking like the playoffs are going to be fun. But I'm kind of not too invested with it, like I would if the Hawks were here this season. But I know the Cavs are going to make the finals. I even know the Warriors. The reason why I'm not like in the Warriors, as I do the Cavs, is because experience. Like, I just don't trust the Warriors, man. They're just too shady, man. They're just too shady. I mean, if you look at their team, how they're assembled, there's too much talent, man. It's actually kind of scary. They just pretend to play bad, pretend to lose games, giving it all away. It's all a joke. That's why they blew a 3-1 lead, so they could get Kevin Durant. That's the only reason why they lose, to get more stars. If they lose this season, they're going to get another star. That's the scary part. And you only want them to win so they don't get another big guy. So, everyone, peace. Enjoy the playoffs. I'll try to cover more of the second round.